Hi YouTube, today I have a deck profile here for you for the 2023 format. It's Endymion. I'm excited to have Servant of Endymion back to 3 after the new ban list. The deck is a great rogue pick. It kind of loses to Kashtira since you get your pendulum zones locked out, but with the proper side deck options and even main deck option, depending on where you want to take this deck, it is still a good choice. It's a really strong combo deck and can do a lot of different combos and create a lot of unbreakable boards. So here I'll show the deck profile here to get started. So to start it off, you have 3 Servant of Endymion, 3 Magister, 3 Reflection, and 3 Mighty Master. So if you watch my 2019 profile, I still believe to this day that playing 3 of each is the proper choice. I know some builds only play 1 of each Magister and Reflection. I think that's okay depending on your deck build, but here for this build that I like to play 3 because if you are interrupted by any way by hand traps on your servant, cards like Magister can help you. So here, as it reads on your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can remove 3 spell counters from your field, anywhere on the field. Special summon 1 monster from your deck that you can place a spell counter on. So you can special this, you can special Master Cerberus, you can special Jackal King. So you can keep your combo as big as you want to keep it, even if you were interrupted. And Reflection also, if it's destroyed by battle, you can add 1 Endymion card from your deck to your hand. You can add any one of these Pendulum cards. You can add your Magical Citadel or any other Endymion spell card you may play. Also, it's a level 7 for rank 7 plays, which you'll see in the extra deck. And it's a great low scale. Servant usually specials itself from the Pendulum scale, so you want to have another 2 in there so you can create a Pendulum summon. So I usually just max out on 3 on all 4 of them. So that's it for the Endymion monsters. Next, the supporting monsters, we have the Mythical Beast. I just play just these 2, which is the Master Cerberus and Jackal King. In my side deck, I have the Garuda. It's good for spell and trap removal. It's good for that additional disruption in the hand as a hand trap. You can play the level 1 Jackal as well, but for now I'm just playing these 2. I think there's some better cards that are played right now, so I had to kind of lower the amount of Mythical Beasts. Jackal King, you can maybe play at 3, but I don't want to open the card. I kind of want to add the card. But what's great with Master Cerberus is going second, so you have it in the scale. You know, you add Jackal King. Jackal King will special it into the extra zone. When it gets 4 spell counters, you can banish a monster on the field face up, and then it gains the attack. So it gains the attack equal to the banished monster's original attack. So you can swing for like big amounts. You can also like link it off into something like a gravity controller or link 2 with another monster, and then you can use a card like Magister to bring Master Cerberus back. And since these 2 are soft once per turn, soft once per turn negate, soft once per turn banish. So you can use the banish as many times as long as it leaves the field, comes back, or you have multiple ones. Next, we have 3 Magical Abductor, 1 Astrograph Sorcerer, and just honorary monster is Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Astrograph works well with the Cerberus and the Jackal King. They destroy themselves to special, and Astrograph will special itself and add the card that was destroyed. Magical Abductor is nice because Magical Abductor is that consistency card. Once you have 3 spell counters, you can add any pendulum monster. So I like to add things like Servant. You can add your high scales like Magister and Mighty Master. You can even add your Astrograph Sorcerer directly. So Magical Abductor is just that consistency card that you kind of need to work in this deck. I think if a card like Droll Lockbird is seeing more play, especially since certain decks that add a lot, I think Magical Abductor should be removed, and you can maybe play either more Mythical Beasts or more just power spells. Even stuff like going second like Dark Ruler and Forbidden Chalice. But anyway, going on to the spells, we have 3 Spell Power Mastery and 3 Mythical Institution. These are the 3 ofs that I play. Again, Mythical Institution, as you saw in the 2019 profile and other profiles, with the Mythical Beasts, these, every time they're destroyed by battle as well or card effect, this gains 2 counters. So these can go off, and as you can see, your spell counters begin to snowball if, let's say, you even had like Magical Citadel, because you put 1 on scale, this gets a counter. Destroys itself, this gets 2 counters. So this Institution and Mastery are kind of your ways to search Servant. Institution's kind of a strange way to search it, but sometimes you can rack up a lot of spell counters on here and search even bigger monsters like the Jackal King or even the Mighty Master. Mastery is pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know this deck, all it does is just add an Endymion card from deck to your hand, and then you can count the number of spell power masteries and spell power grasps you control, or have in your graveyard and place that many spell counters among cards you control that you can place a spell counter on. Usually it just uses itself, so you just place an extra one. Next, we play 2 Pot of Desires. If we had 3 from the ban list, we could play 3, but for now we just play 2 because they're currently semi-limited, but they're a great draw card. Next, we have Field Spell. So 2 Citadel of Endymion, 1 Secret Village, terraforming and set rotation to search. So Secret Village is kind of your helpful card for a card like Dark Ruler. Dark Ruler completely stops this deck. This deck usually ends on a bunch of negates, such as like 2 Jackal Kings, 2 Mighty Masters, Apollousa, blah, blah, blah. And if you have Secret Village, it stops that from getting Dark Rulered, as well as a couple other power spells, maybe even something as like a Regeki if they were to bait out all of your cards and all that. So Secret Village is kind of that cherry on top to ensure that your combo really goes off. And lastly, the spell cards, Spellbook of Secrets, Knowledge, Upstart, Into the Void, and Reasoning. I still like to play the Reasoning. The Reasoning is with like a Servant, you can get any kind of random card. Pain's a 6, Astrograph 7, Magical Deductor's 4, so it's kind of hard to call the right number. So you can get that free monster plus a free spell counter. That's why I do like Reasoning, but we just play those for draw power as well. So then next we're going to go into the extra deck. So the extra deck, this is the only Link 1 I play, is Gravity Controller. Like I said, with Master Cerberus, you go Master Cerberus and then link to the Gravity Controller, and Gravity Controller can spin a card. Link 2s, we play Cross Sheep for a fusion that we play later. IP Masquerena, Crowley for part of the Spellbook combo. Beyond the Pendulum, this kind of does what Electromite used to do. It adds a Pendulum monster from deck to hand at the cost of life points, but then negates your monster's effects until you Pendulum summon. So I don't really like to play the card too much. It doesn't do what Electromite used to do. Electromite used to pop a card, add one from extra deck, draw, and then you can place another scale, so it causes you to have another spell counter. Beyond the Pendulum kind of negates a lot of that, just creates a more of a big Pendulum summon. But it's still good to have because it can link off, it can still add cards that you need to add, and it can still combo, but I don't go into it as much. Next we have Daybreaker and Nightmare Phoenix. So these 2 are kind of removal cards. They're nice to have. Next for the Link 3s, we have 2 Selene. This is definitely the best extra deck card. This one adds spell counters to this card equal to the number of spells on the field and in the graveyard, including Pendulum Scales. Like, I mean, that's already 2 right there. If you have field spell, 3. And then you'll have a bunch of spells in the grave to add more counters. And then you have a quick effect during the main phase. You can remove 3 spell counters from the field, special summon 1 spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense. So this helps with your combos as well. And then the other one is the Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. I played this in the old profile as well. If this card was linked with a level 7 or higher monster, which we have a lot of, your opponent cannot target this with card effects, and it can't be destroyed by card effects, by your opponent's card effects. So this card just becomes really big, and it has amazing effects. Next, Link 4, we only play 1. It's the Apollousa, part of the combo. And then the Underworld Goddess is Link 5, removal for your opponent's monsters. Next are the XCs. We have 1 Abyss Dweller. This can be kind of any rank 4. I prefer Dweller right now. It's mainly for a deck like Tearlaments or Shaddolls, those type of decks that rely on the graveyard. I would say they're more seen at locals and regional levels, so something like Dweller is still great to have. But this can be maybe like Baguska or a different rank 4, or even a Link monster that may have not been in here. And then next is the little combo, the Absolute Dragon and the Vortex Dragon. Absolute can be made with your reflections in your Mighty Masters. A lot of the times in your combo, you have like you'll link into like some type of link to, whether it's Beyond the Pendulum or Crowley. Most of the time I usually go with the Crowley because I'm adding spellbook cards. And then, let's say you did your Pendulum Summon, right? You Pendulum Summon these 2. You can overlay them for the Absolute. These 2 become your Selene. And then you get the Vortex as well. And then, of course, since these are in the grave, Selene can special back probably the Mighty Master. So a lot of people, I'm sure, know this combo already, especially those that do play this deck. But that's what's great about having the Vortex and the Selene. But yeah, so that's the deck profile for this deck. This deck is still so much fun, whether I use it at a rogue level or at a competitive level. It's a great deck. You can learn a lot from it. You can combo a lot off of it. I don't really want to show any combo tutorials because there isn't really exactly a set combo with this deck. A lot of this combo is mainly just trying to search into your Servant with as many power spells as you have. So just Servant, you know, if you have Upstart, draw onto something that's a counter. So it's just all about building counters on your Servant to get the Jackal King before your 5th summon, so you can get anti-Nibiru, and then even there's times where you have Reflection and maybe Endymion in hand, special these two, and now you have both a spell and trap negate before you combo off. So the deck is just really big combo, really anti-hand trap, and can just play really well. So it's nice to have Servant back. Hopefully we can get some results out of it, and hopefully we'll have another deck profile. Just if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This deck's a lot of fun. I'm very passionate about this deck. And yeah, thank you for watching.